What's going on, everyone, and welcome to Kicking It with Crowder. We have another episode for you tonight, guys. So it's episode 80. So very excited to bring you guys another episode tonight, episode 30 of season 2, guys. So hey, thank you guys for joining tonight. Don't forget to like this post. Don't forget to comment it out. And always share, guys, so more people can see it, all right? I'm going to play some music like we always do, and then we'll get into some topics for discussion. It is Masters Week, guys, and also the Braves swept the Nationals today for to get off the snide. Now 2-4 on the young season, so shout out to the Atlanta Braves for getting it done today for the Nationals, guys. So, hey, thank you guys for joining me tonight. I'm going to go ahead and play some music, and we'll get started, all right? Let's go. Alright, last week my comments didn't work, so hopefully they will work this week, guys. Let's see. Alright, so hopefully my comments work this week, but if not, no worries, we'll still do it. You guys still comment down below, and got a lot to talk about tonight. So we'll talk about the massacre on Monday night between Baylor and Gonzaga. Gonzaga just not able to finish off the perfect season. Sam Darnold, guys, is traded from the New York Jets to the Carolina Panthers. A lot of people are saying, hey, Sam Darnold wasn't very good in New York. Why Carolina do this? Well, I'll give you some reasons why they did it. And then also, we'll talk Masters odds, some of the best odds to look out for this weekend. And then also, update on Tiger Woods. He got in a car crash February 23rd. So we'll talk about all that tonight, guys. So, hey, thank y'all so much for joining me tonight. I really appreciate it. And let's get going. We got one person on the live right now. Comment if you can. It's not showing me any comments right now. I'm not sure what's going on. Got to get that worked out. Got 2 on the live right now. So, hey, comment if you can. If you can't, I'll get to all the comments after the show. So, thank y'all for joining, man. There we go. What's up, Bob? Thanks for watching, man. I appreciate it, Bob. Thank you, man. Anything you want to talk about tonight, Bob? Any topics you want to talk about in the sports world, let me know. I'll try to get to it, man. Thank you for watching. I appreciate your comment. That's good. I can see my comments. Last week, I was not able to see my comments, so it was kind of frustrating. Had to get back to everyone after the fact. So, Masters Week, man. Gary, what's up, Gary? Thanks for joining, man. Anything you guys want to talk about, man, let me know. College football-wise, NFL, basketball, MLB. I talk it all. So let me know, guys. And thank you, guys, for watching. Hey, I'm down, man. You just got to let me know. If I can do it, I definitely will. So just let me know, Bob. I-80, I've done a couple episodes with them on running backs and wide receivers. 3 weeks till the NFL draft, guys. 3 weeks away, so I can't wait. I also have my updated big board out on my Twitter page. Also, my latest mock draft, which I'll have to redo since there was a trade. I had Carolina getting a quarterback. Now, looks like they're probably going to go in a different direction. So, I'll talk about that tonight, what Carolina could be possibly doing as well. So, thank y'all so much for joining me, man. I really appreciate it. Got the Braves Victory Cup today. All right, guys. So let a couple people join the conversation. Played some music, and we're going to get started. Kicking It with Crowder, guys, begins in 3, 2, and 1. What's going on, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Kicking It with Crowder. Yes, this is episode 30 of season 2, 80th show overall. So we are four-fifths of the way to 100. So guys, thank y'all so much. We have over 900 likes on our Facebook page, guys. If you don't already, head over to the Kicking It with Crowder Facebook page, give it a like. You can see all my content. I post there, every weekly, and then all my episodes every Wednesday or Thursday night at 9 o'clock, guys. So it is Masters week. I am really, really excited, guys, for the Masters. Me being in Columbus, Georgia, I'm not very far away from Augusta. Seems like we just had the Masters tournament. I think in maybe September, October, Dustin Johnson was able to get the green jacket. So we'll see what happens in this Masters. I'll go ahead and give you guys my pick for this weekend, along with some updated odds. I have 7 players' odds, and basically the odds I'm going to give you guys, if you were to put a $100 bet on this player, I'm going to give you how much you would win off a $100 bet, okay? So I'll give you that, guys, later on the show. I'll also give you my pick for this weekend, okay? So, it's one of the best weeks of the entire year. The Augusta National Tournament, the first weekend in April. I'm really, really excited to give you my picks for this weekend, and stay tuned for that. Okay, what's up, JD? How you doing, man? You liking it down there in Orlando? Thanks for watching, John. I appreciate it, man. Looks like your house is almost being done as well. So congrats on that. All right, so I'll give you my best bets for the Masters weekend. Also, guys, the Baylor Bears are your 2021 NCAA champions, defeating the previously undefeated Gonzaga Bulldogs. I picked Gonzaga, and they had a great run. I really thought Jalen Suggs would be the difference for this team, but miss you too, JD. But at the end of the day, this Baylor backcourt, Donovan Mitchell, and these other point guards they were just too much. Scott Drew, got to give him a lot of credit. He took over a Baylor Bear program that was in shambles. Coming off, a player got murdered on their team. They had some scandal going on. Scott Drew literally turned this team upside down, and they are now your 2021 NCAA champions. And depending on, who comes back, Baylor could make another run, with the COVID protocols. Some of these players can come back. Previous seniors who would normally be done could possibly come back. Donovan Mitchell, he's a guy who he wears 45. He has the same name as Donovan Mitchell in the NBA. He's going to be an NBA-type player. I think he made himself a lot of money in this tournament, and look for him to be probably a mid to late first-round pick in the NBA draft. A guy from Hinesville, Georgia, who previously was at Auburn, left Auburn, wanted to start, and then goes to Baylor, and now he has his national championship. So congratulations to Donovan Mitchell, 45 for the Baylor Bears. He played a great game. Hey, Rita, thanks for watching. I appreciate it. But the Baylor backcourt was too much. They got off to a 9-0 run, then it was 29-10, and Gonzaga was just never able to get going. And the big difference for me was, a lot of people were acting like, Gonzaga won the national championship off that shot versus UCLA, and that scared me heading into the game. Anytime when you hit a big shot like that, and, the way they were celebrating and the way that everyone was talking about, oh, is that the greatest shot in tournament history? I just didn't, I had a bad feeling about what was going to happen on Monday night. I originally had picked Gonzaga, but I took Baylor with the points. They were 6.5-point underdogs. I took Baylor with the points heading into the game, and it was just too much. Baylor's defense, they were too much. They hit eight or nine threes, early on. I think they ended up with 10 threes in the game. Gonzaga was just never able to get going. Jalen Suggs, Timmy, and Kispert, their big three, just they weren't on the same page. But shout out to Mark Few. He'll be back. I'm rooting for him to get a national championship. Gonzaga now has the second most tournament wins without an NCAA title. I feel like their time is coming. Jalen Suggs, a guy who, will probably be a top 3 to 5 overall pick in the NBA draft, could come back. His high school teammate, now the number 1 overall player in the 2021 class, Chet, I can't remember his last name. He's the number one player, so he has Gonzaga on his final few college programs. So if he's able to team up with him and then running back with Gonzaga, watch out. That could be a powerful duo coming back next year for Gonzaga. But the overtime victory against UCLA, an 11 seed, that it took everything they had to win that game. Jalen Suggs hits that buzzer beater, jumps on the table, a la Kobe Bryant and D Wade. But he just he's a great player, Jalen Suggs, and then that's the reason I really picked Gonzaga. But Baylor Bears, they were just they were too good. They had the 3-week break because of COVID, and many people thought they could have been undefeated if that wouldn't have happened. So Baylor Bears end up being the best team in college basketball, and now Indiana can pop their champagne. They are still the last team to go undefeated in Division I. NCAA Division I basketball, and that was in 1976. So Gonzaga came really close, but they weren't able to knock that door down. They'll still be remembered as a great basketball team this year, but at the end of the day, they do not hoist the trophy. So the Carolina Panthers, guys, got some news coming out of Carolina, and the Carolina Panthers made a big-time move for the former number 3 overall pick. So Sam Darnold, 2018, he's the number 3 overall pick. 2021, he's traded to the Carolina Panthers for a 2nd and 4th round draft pick in 2022 and a 6th round draft pick in 2021. So you give up 3 picks to go get Sam Darnold. Matt Rule now has his guy to build on the future. Sam Darnold played 3 years at USC, played 3 years with the New York Jets, and many people are saying he played 6 years of college football. Now he's going to finally be a pro. This will be his 4th years in the pros. Of course, people are just talking, shit about the New York Jets, and let's just go ahead and call a spade a spade. The New York Jets did not set up Sam Darnold to be successful. The guy had no offensive line. The guy had no running game. The guy had no wide receivers to throw to. Adam Gase was calling his plays and was his head coach. I mean, the guy was just basically set up for failure. So, the Jets really could have kept Sam Darnold, tried to get him some weapons, build around him. But, they got a new coach in Saleh, and he wants to kind of get his own guy in there. It looks like they're pretty much, targeted on Zach Wilson. Could be Justin Fields, but, at this point it just seems like Zach Wilson is the pick. So they rebuild around Zach Wilson. Hopefully they're able to get him some weapons. They already have a nice piece on the offensive line in Mekhi Becton, a guy who I really liked coming out of Louisville last year. Had him as my top 11 or 12th overall prospect last year. He's a huge offensive lineman who's going to be very, very good for protecting Zach Wilson's blind side. Okay, so Zach Wilson, he can make a lot of the throws that Sam Darnold's already made in the NFL. So, I like the move by Carolina, being aggressive, going to get a guy. They're sitting at 8th overall. They probably would have had to give up a good bit of collateral to move up in the draft. So they're just a little bit too far back. They go ahead and move up, and they get Sam Darnold. And now they get Sam Darnold on his 4th-year deal, and they pick up his 5th-year option. So they got 2 years to see what they have in Sam Darnold. And Teddy Bridgewater, it looks like, they could possibly be moving on from Teddy Bridgewater. But at the end of the day, Teddy Bridgewater is a nice guy to have in the building to go along with Sam Darnold and who could possibly back up Sam Darnold. They did not give up all this ammo to have Sam Darnold as a backup, guys. I just truly do not believe that. Sam Darnold was a number 3 overall pick. He has all the talent in the world, all the arm talent. Just really hasn't had the weapons. So I'm excited to see what he's able to do. Like I said, no weapons, no run game, no offensive line. Adam Gase was his head coach. So last 2 years he was set up to fail. And I'll tell you later on in the show, guys, why I think he's going to be successful and why I think this was a very good move for the Carolina Panthers. And now Carolina sits at number 8 overall, probably not going for a quarterback. Now they can either go after, a weapon for Sam Darnold and Kyle Pitts. They could try to protect him on the other side, on the right side of the offensive line, with a guy like Rashawn Slater at 8 overall. Also, you could see them go after a cornerback. This is a team who had Josh Norman in the past. Also, James Bradbury. What's up, Maddox? Thanks for watching, man. So, Carolina could possibly go Pitts at 8. Slater at 8, or they could go Patrick Surtain, J.C. Horn, Caleb Fairley, any of those cornerbacks as well. Or if they want to get another playmaker at linebacker, like Luke Kuechly, they had him for close to a decade. They could go Micah Parsons. So those are my kind of 5 guys I've kind of targeted in on Carolina to look out for at 8. So I'll give you my pick, who I think it'll be later on in the show, guys. So the Atlanta Braves. The Atlanta Braves today got off the snide today, sweeping the Washington Nationals today in Washington on the daytime doubleheader. So this year the MLB is keeping the 7-inning doubleheader rule, which 162 games. That's a lot of games, and with these doubleheaders, and I like the 7-inning rule for the doubleheader. The Braves get the first win, 7-6. Will Smith came in to close it out. Was very up and down in the last inning, but got a double play to end the game. Ronald Acuna led the way, guys, going 3 for 4 in the first game, and then also homered 2 times previously the day before. So it's always nice to see Ronald Acuna getting the bat going. And then also in Game 2, they get the 2-0 win over Steven Strasburg and the Washington Nationals. Wanoa pitched a heck of a game. This is a guy who signed as a top international free agent at 16. Pitched 4 innings in the playoffs last year. This is a guy who could possibly be our number 5 starter going forward, and it was nice to see him get comfortable and pitch a really good game versus the Washington Nationals. And the Braves get the win 2-0. They moved to 2-4 on the young season. So guys, thank you guys so much for joining me tonight. Don't forget, guys, to hit that like button. Don't forget to comment down below for anything you want to talk about tonight. Also, guys, share this out. Share this out so more people can see it. Tonight we've had a lot of people. I'm not sure if everyone follows the show on Facebook. So if you don't already, guys, please be sure to hit that like button, comment down below, and share this out so more people can see it, guys. I'm also on Apple. I'm on Spotify, the iHeartRadio app, Twitter. You can follow me at Kick It With Crow, and then on YouTube as well, Kicking It With Crowder, guys. So basically, I'm anywhere you get your favorite podcasts. You can find me, guys, and I really enjoy. I really enjoy. Bringing this to you every single week, guys. Without you guys, I do not have a show, so I can't thank you guys enough for letting me bring you my content every single week. And then with the NFL draft coming up in the next 3 weeks, I have a guy from the Draft Network who's supposed to be coming on. I also have another Atlanta Falcons content creator who's supposed to be coming on before the draft. So hopefully we'll have some guests in the next 2 to 3 weeks heading into the draft. And I'll also be doing a mock draft with Undrafted Sports. Some of my people that I work with on Undrafted, I think we're going to be doing a mock draft with 4, 5, 6 people doing like a snake draft, picking players. So I'll have probably 6 to 8 picks for teams, and I'll be looking out for that as well. And then also I'll be dropping a YouTube video with some college clips of players and things like that, so be watching out for that as well, guys. But I want to go ahead and talk a little bit about the Masters, and my Masters picks, before we get out of here. JD talking MLB, it sucks that they are moving the All-Star game as a knee-jerk reaction to the new law that's more open than... Yeah, and that's another thing. I didn't really get to talk about that last week. That's another thing I probably should have talked about. So before we get going, JD's talking about the MLB moving the All-Star game out of Atlanta based on the new voting laws. And here's my thing. There is some things that in that law that probably need to be revised, especially the not being able to give out food and water, snacks and things like that to people who are waiting in line if you're so close to the building. That needs to be changed probably immediately. But at the end of the day, I'm all for someone being able to have. You need to have an identification to be able to vote. That's not an out of the ordinary type thing. You have to have an ID to do anything in America. You have to have an ID to buy alcohol. You have to have an ID to buy tobacco. You have to have an ID, and driver's license to drive a car. I mean, you have to have an ID to pretty much do anything. You go to the registration to get your registration at the car place. You have to have your driver's license. So, and then they went ahead and said the voting polls will close at 5, even though people get off at 5:30. They probably need to look into that. There's a lot of things they need to look into, but the gist of it is having a proper identification and, being an American citizen to vote for the presidential elections and all these other elections. So, Georgia's not the only state doing this, guys. There's 40 other states who are trying to pass similar laws. So, I think the MLB kind of caved under the media pressure, and in this cancel culture, you're good, man. And the cancel culture that is in 2021, everyone wants to cancel everybody or for things that's happened, or and it's just I think that the MLB kind of jumped on that bandwagon. Rob Manfred, a commissioner, also has an Augusta National membership. If you feel so strongly about moving the Atlanta Braves or the All-Star game out of Atlanta, go ahead and give up your Augusta National membership. I'll be waiting because I'm sure you're not going to do that. So at the end of the day, I think it was it's horse shit, and they shouldn't have moved it out of there. But at the end of the day, hopefully Atlanta will get the All-Star game maybe in 2022 or 2023. But we haven't had an All-Star game since 2001. That was at Turner Field and Truist Park. What they've done with this ballpark and with all the industrial buildings around, the food places around, they've done a great job at Truist Park, and it's a shame that all these other people who normally wouldn't be going to an Atlanta Braves game, would be going to a home run derby or be going to the All-Star game and get to experience Truist Park, and it's sad. But at the end of the day, with the cancel culture and how all the Karens are out there in the world, once they put that pressure on the MLB, it was a foregone conclusion that this was going to happen. Once I heard about it, and once I heard Rob Manfred, the commissioner of the MLB, talking about it, I did kind of see the writing on the wall. But they're moving it to Colorado. It's been announced that they're going to play the All-Star game in Coors Field. So shout out to the Rockies because they get to host the World Series. The All-Star game, something that the Braves, I'm sure, really, really wanted to do. So, yeah, you're right, JD. I definitely don't agree with it. But at the end of the day, with the media pressure and, the cancel culture going on, it's not a surprise. All right. So, I want to talk a little bit about my Masters picks, guys, and odds. So, my Masters picks, basically, I'm going to go over the odds real quick. I'm going to give you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 players to look out for. What's up, CK? Who you liked in the Masters this weekend, man? I want to know who you like. JD, if you're still watching, man, let me know who you like in the Masters down below. Going to give you some odds. The odds-on favorite to win the Masters this weekend is Dustin Johnson. He's sitting at plus 750. So that means if you put $100 on Dustin Johnson and he wins the Masters, you win $750. That's not a bad payout. Not a bad payout at all. And another guy who's looking to complete the Grand Slam, the career Grand Slam. He's already won the other three tournaments. Had a very big lead going on in earlier in his career at the Masters. Shot at 80 in the final round. That's Rory McIlroy. So JD's pick is Dustin Johnson. Collins is Justin Thomas. I'll give you mine here in just a little bit. Rory McIlroy trying to finish the career Grand Slam. He's at plus 1,500. So a $100 bet will give you $1,500. And Rory recently met with Tiger Woods, and I feel like he's going to be in contention this week. Not saying he's going to win, but I definitely feel like he has a chance to get that career Grand Slam. Rooting for him, and then also Jordan Spieth, another guy who's already won a Masters before, but he's trying to complete his Grand Slam. I think he needs a U.S. Open. So it would be really cool if Rory could win the Masters this year, and then later on in the year, Jordan Spieth wins the U.S. Open to complete the career Grand Slam for both of those guys. So Rory sits at plus 1,500. Dustin Johnson, guys, sits at plus 750. Bryson DeChambeau, this is my pick for the weekend. I know a lot of people don't like the guy. He's like he brings physics into the golf game, and the way he's able to strike the golf ball. He's very long off the tee. He's like Happy Gilmore up there. If he can just putt well this weekend, look out for Bryson DeChambeau. He sits at plus 950, so a $100 bet will give you $950. That is my pick this weekend, guys. Bryson DeChambeau, he was close against Dustin Johnson in the fall at the Masters. I feel like he's going to be, right up there on the leaderboard heading into Sunday. Bryson DeChambeau, guys, is my pick for the 2021 Masters. All right, so Collins picked Justin Thomas, who, if you're really confident about Justin Thomas, man, go ahead and put your $10 on Justin Thomas. It'll net you $95. So a $100 bet will give you $950, Collins. So if you're feeling lucky, go ahead and jump out there in the water with Justin Thomas. Justin Thomas has won this year. Jordan Spieth won last week heading into the tournament. So Jordan Spieth sitting at plus 950. So you got Justin Thomas at plus 950, Jordan Spieth at plus 950, Bryson DeChambeau all at plus 950. So those three are right now, I think, second. They're second overall favorites heading into the weekend. And then, you have Rory McIlroy sitting at plus 1,500. So those are, you're jumping in with them. Hey, man, go get out there in that water, Collins. So those are kind of the five favorites right now: Dustin Johnson, Rory, DeChambeau, Justin Thomas, and Jordan Spieth. But, guys, I'm going to give you three names to watch out for. These are big underdogs, but, guys, big names who have been there. Brooks Koepka, he's sitting at plus 2,500. I mean, this is a guy who's an ultimate competitor. He has a couple majors under his belt. Look out for him. I really like. Hey, yeah, we'll bet on it. I'll bet DeChambeau. You bet Dustin Johnson. And if I win, if DeChambeau wins, you'll send me a gift card. If you win, I'll send you a gift card. Bet. Let's do it, JD. If either of them don't win, we don't have to pay up. How about that? That sound good? Let's do it. But Brooks Koepka, guys. Brooks Koepka, this is a guy plus 2,500. This is a guy who has won a bunch of tournaments. I really like the way he plays. Former FSU grad. I really like Brooks Koepka. He sits at plus 2,500. That's another guy to watch out for this weekend. And then a guy who was really in contention last fall, and a guy who I really like, a guy who models his game after Tiger Woods. That's Tony Finau. He is plus 3,000. So a $100 bet will win you $3,000. I really like his golf game. That is my pick. That is my pick to, of all these big odds. These three guys I'm mentioning, I really like Tony Finau as, my underdog of the tournament, plus 3,000. I mean, are you kidding me? That's a lot of money for just a $100 bet. If you put $10 on it, you still win $300. So that I may have to just put $10 on him this weekend. And then Jason Day. Jason Day is sitting at plus 3,500. This is another guy who has played some good golf. The former number one overall in the world. Look for him to maybe get hot this weekend if he's putting. Watch out. So Tony Finau, Jason Day, and Brooks Koepka, those are three big underdogs to look out for. But I'm just gonna have to roll with DeChambeau on this one. I think he's too long off the tee. If he's putting, I mean, the guy's just like really, really hard to beat. And I like him, especially at this Augusta National. Ricky Fowler's odds. Let's see where his are at. Let me see real quick. Let me check on that for you, JD. I'm not sure. I didn't see him up there. So let me see if I can find it real quick. All right, my stuff's not loading. I'll try to get to it. I'll try to get it to it, JD. If I can't find it, I'll let you know. But yeah, I like Ricky Fowler. He still hasn't broke through, getting a major tournament, but I feel like the time is going to come at some point.
If you like Zaxby's, you're going to love the Zaxby's app. Use it to order ahead to fast track your order. Plus, member
member-only rewards.
All right, my bad. Let me turn that off.
It's easy. It's convenient. It's the Zap.
All right, sorry about that. All right, so yeah, Ricky didn't even make it. He's not even in the tournament. What? I can't believe that. But yeah, Ricky did not make my cut, guys. So that's my Masters 2021 kind of just the favorites. My pick this weekend, and then some big underdogs to look out for. So I really like DeChambeau, but guys, tell me who you like down below after the fact. All right. All right, so before we get out of here, I want to talk a little bit about Tiger Woods' situation. Tiger Woods, of course, guys, was in a horrific car crash February 23rd, and he's going around a bend in LA trying to go give Drew Brees a golf lesson in the morning in LA after his tournament. And basically, the sheriff's office came out today. And, of course, Tiger Woods will not be at the Masters this week. Huge loss for the golf community. It's always better when you have Tiger Woods in the field. But Tiger Woods will not be able to play in the 2021 Masters tournament as he recovers from injury sustained in a February 23rd car crash. Well, the LA County Sheriff's Office today came out and said that Woods' SUV was traveling anywhere from 84 to 87 miles per hour on a downhill stretch outside of Los Angeles, and the speed limit, guys, was only 45 miles per hour. So basically almost doubling the speed limit of what you're supposed to be doing. The SUV was going 75 miles per hour when it hit the tree. So just the fact that Tiger Woods was only able to sustain major injuries and avoid death is just we're lucky to still have Tiger Woods here today, because if you saw the pictures of that crash, that was a horrific crash. As soon as I saw the crash, I thought, oh no. It looked really, really bad. Going 84 to 87 miles per hour, hitting the tree, going 75. They actually said that Woods probably actually hit the accelerator instead of the brake as well when he was, got in the car crash. So it's just a scary thing. I'm thankful that he's alive. Hopefully he'll be able to get back on the golf course one day. But at this point, just the fact that he's alive, is a blessing. And he will not be charged in this crash. He was not impaired or anything like that. A lot of people speculated alcohol or drugs may have been involved in this, but looks like Tiger Woods, was just speeding and, came around a bend and lost control of his SUV. And, shout out to the SUV for keeping him alive, because you see the pictures. It did not look good for Tiger Woods. So prayers up for Tiger Woods, guys, the golf community and everyone, continue supporting Tiger Woods, continue to pray for him. Hopefully he'll be able to get back on the golf course at some point, but if not, he had one heck of a career, one of the best athletes of my generation, and a guy who was just an ultimate competitor. When he won the Masters a couple years ago, man, that was special, and I really enjoyed watching him win the Masters out there with his son, and just the triumph, just able to come back from what he's been able to go through was just amazing. So shout out to Tiger Woods. You'll be missed this week at the Masters, but I know you'll be at home watching and rooting, probably for Rory McIlroy, but I'm sure Justin Thomas and Jordan Spieth, can also say, hey, no, Tiger's rooting for me. So before we get out of here, guys, I want to talk a little bit more about the Sam Darnold situation and the Carolina Panthers. I've seen a lot of hate going on towards Sam Darnold. I've seen a lot of hate going on for the Carolina Panthers. Oh my gosh, they gave up three picks for this guy, who's a bust basically. Well, let's just say this. Sam Darnold's thrown 41 touchdown passes in his career, 35 interceptions. He's also like 13-29 as a starter. Dealt with Mono. Dealt with Adam Gase for over 2 years. That Adam Gase, I'm sure you guys watched the introductory press conference. The guy looked like he was on drugs from the minute he got in New York. He looked out of it. It was a bad hire. You can call it what it is. It wasn't a very good hire. But at the end of the day, Sam Darnold is now out of New York. He goes to Carolina to team up with Matt Rule, to team up with Joe Brady. Thanks for watching, JD. I appreciate it, man. I will. I'll tell everyone. You said, hey, Matt Rule gets he gets to pair up with Matt Brady. I'm sorry, Joe Brady. And Sam Darnold is legit. The guy can make some serious throws. He made some throws last year with New York that made you say, wow, man, this guy's, he's got some talent. Sometimes he trusts in his arm a little bit too much, kind of like Jameis Winston, almost in a sense. And I'm really want to see what he's able to do, pairing back up with Robbie Anderson, a guy who he was with in New York. Also, now he has DJ Moore on the outside, so you got two really nice weapons there. Then you have Christian McCaffrey, who missed most of the 2020 season. He'll be coming back as well. Give me 1 second, guys. All right. So, I'm really excited to see Sam Darnold in this offense around these weapons, especially if they're able to protect him. Something the New York Jets were not able to do. And then also, he does have a little mobility also. He had that long touchdown run last year as well. And now, basically, New York has moved on from Sam Darnold. They're probably going to, focus on Zach Wilson or Justin Fields in the draft. So now they can, try to protect, another top pick. They're going to have another top pick for the, first, another pick in 3 years. Be like the first team to pick two quarterbacks in the top three in less than 3 seasons. But Sam Darnold, I'm telling you guys, don't be shocked if Sam Darnold turns out into a pretty good quarterback. Carolina has 2 years to kind of look out and see what they have in them before they try to extend them out. But I'm telling you, Sam Darnold is going to shock some people, and you go from really the outhouse to the penthouse, going from Adam Gase to Joe Brady. You have Matt Rule, who's on a 6-year contract. You have some weapons now. You have a nice defense and some pieces with Jeremy Chin and Derek Brown on that defense, 2 young guys who were rookies last year. And then you have Shaq Thompson as well. Look for them to possibly draft a quarterback. I've said, now at 8 overall, you don't have to trade up and give up some collateral to go get a quarterback. Now you can maybe focus on J.C. Horn, Patrick Surtain, or Caleb Fairley there at 8. Or you maybe protect Sam Darnold and get, a Rashawn Slater from Northwestern. Or possibly Micah Parsons, Penn State linebacker who can fly around the field, can play linebacker, can get after the quarterback. You also have Brian Burns on that defensive line. So Carolina has some nice pieces to build around. And, we'll see what happens. A lot of Falcons fans are saying, oh, Sam Darnold's not good. He's trash. Who cares? I'm just letting you know, Sam Darnold can play some football. I liked him coming out of the draft. He was my number 2 overall quarterback in 2018. And he's put up some throws. He's showed some stuff on tape that makes you say, wow, this guy's got some talent. So, like Colin said, he also has some mobility as well. So he'll be partnered with Joe Brady, who did wonders for Joe Burrow in 2019. And he'll be reunited with Robbie Anderson, who he played with and has a deep ball connection with in New York. I'm sure he'll be getting with all these receivers and Christian McCaffrey and some of these other teammates. He'll get acclimated with them. But Sam Darnold kind of threw a party the other night when he got traded from New York to Carolina. He literally had some friends, and they threw a little party. And, the guy, I don't think he could be any happier to get out of New York. It just didn't work. Call it what it is. It just did not work, but hopefully he gets a second chance. And, this is basically his last chance to kind of survive in the NFL. He has 2 years to prove it with Carolina. I feel like he will, and he'll be a QB of the future. Teddy Bridgewater, sucks for him. He signed that big deal with Carolina last year, 3 years, I think $39 million. He could possibly be Sam Darnold's backup, but I'm telling you, Carolina did not give up all that for Sam Darnold just to let him be a backup. So look for Carolina to possibly move Teddy Bridgewater. Look for a team, maybe he could go back to New Orleans and back up Jameis Winston. He could go to, there's a couple teams who could use him as a backup quarterback. Chicago, they have Andy Dalton in there right now. They could possibly look for Teddy Bridgewater to start as well. So you got a couple teams who are probably going to be picking up the phone to call about Teddy Bridgewater as well. But overall, great fit for Sam Darnold and Carolina. And I really do think they just got a steal, and they're not able to. They don't lose a first round draft pick for them. They gave up a second and a fourth in 2022, and a 6th in 2021. So in a couple years, we'll say, hey, who won this draft? Who won this trade? And it'll probably be Carolina who won the draft, even though, you know, New York did good getting a 2nd, a 4th, and a 6th for him, and now they're able to build some pieces to put around Zach Wilson and their new coach, Salah. So, guys, it's been a great show. I really appreciate you tuning in tonight. Be sure to find me next week. We'll be doing 2 shows leading up to the NFL draft, and then the NFL draft is on Thursday. So we'll have 3 more shows before the NFL draft. We'll give you the latest Falcons news, and if they're still there at 4, who they may, you know, be looking at, or if they're able to trade back, hopefully staying in the top 10 with either Detroit or Denver. I've been saying it all along. Those are the 2 teams that make the most sense for me. If you're able to pick up an additional first-round pick and then maybe a 2nd or 3rd round pick, you know, and to only move back 5 slots, I think you really have to consider it. But if Justin Fields, if the smoke screen is there with Mac Jones, and Mac Jones is really the quarterback that San Francisco is going after, and Justin Fields falls in your lap at 4, it may be hard for Atlanta to move on that pick. So it just depends on if they're going to wait until draft night to make a trade, or if they just want to see what happens in the draft and then make a move. So Justin Fields, Kyle Pitts, Penei Sewell, Rashawn Slater, Micah Parsons, Patrick Surtain, those are my 6 guys to watch out for with the Atlanta Falcons pick at number 4. But we'll get into that in the next 3 weeks, guys. Thank y'all so much for joining me tonight. I really appreciate it. Be sure to tune in next week. And also, guys, you can also find me on Apple, Spotify, the iHeartRadio app, all that good stuff. Guys, don't forget to like this. Don't forget to share, comment down below. And until next week, guys, I really appreciate y'all joining me tonight. Until next week, I'm out. Let's go.